Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, beautiful people. We're here again. Up at what humans call Rivington. Up at this beautiful life force happening all around. Look at this. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful life force that is just happening in the moment. There is nothing else happening but this moment. When you go to sleep at night, we're all the same consciousness. Who's there? Who's witnessing the dream? Who's witnessing the mental activity at night time? You'll go back to that at death. You'll go back into the space of the infinite. You'll go back into the space of consciousness. Believe me, all this is bollocks. Believe me that all this is an illusion. You're not there at night. This isn't there at night time when you're asleep. But that is what will be there for eternity. That state of consciousness experiencing the mental activity will be there for eternity. So when you wake up in the morning, is that there? Is all this there when you're in the mental, when you're aware of the mental activity at night time? Is all this there? Does it exist, does it? So therefore, if this can come and go, but the consciousness remains, if your identification with form can come and go, but yet consciousness remains, the thing that is aware remains, the witnesser remains. If your identification with form, if your car, if your partner, if your child, that you unfortunately have been shown no other way but to label them as in this lifetime, you've been shown to identify with form, you've been programmed and conditioned to identify with labels, you know no other way that to wake up in the morning and instantly identify with that's your mum, that's your dad, that's your partner, that's Sue, that's Bob, that's where I work, that's me, that's a cup of tea, that's my car, that's my home. All that is false. All that belongs to the illusion. All that belongs to the matrix, in the matrix and of the matrix, because that does not exist in eternity. When you go to sleep at night time and there is the consciousness experiencing the mental activity at night time, that is not there. You wake up in the morning, it's your addiction to form. It's your addiction to the labels. It's your addiction to the matrix. Because you've been shown no other way but to identify. How about coming onto this planet and just living through consciousness, experiencing the moment. Life force that is right in front of you in every moment. A dog, once you tell a child that is a dog, they will never see a dog the same again. Once you tell a child that is a human named Dad, they will never see that entity the same again. Once you tell a child that is a human named Dad with a story, the trapdoor is shut. And they will live their whole lifetime in identification with form. That entity will live its whole lifetime identifying with labels. That has to be false because it's not there at night time. It's not there when you die. It's not the eternal. Consciousness that is aware of the mental activity at night time is eternal. That will be there when your soul leaves this planet. Consciousness, the thing behind the eyes, the thing that comes into the body when you're born, the thing that's before birth, the thing that's after death, the thing that is eternal. You've got to go back to the dream state at night time. Fuck dream. Fuck your human name for dream. You've got to go back to the mental activity at night time. And you've got to come to see that the consciousness that is aware of that, the thing that is aware of the mental activity, will be with you for eternity. If you was to die in this moment, you go back into the dream state. Death isn't something to fear. As long as you come to see this now in this body, it's now or never. You have woken up in a body. Your consciousness is awake in the body to experience unconditional love, to experience the infinite, to experience the dropping of all labels, to experience the dropping of conditioning, the dropping of programming. Because the more entities that are coming onto this planet do not believe the stories. You either come along with that, you either come into the space of space consciousness, into a place of no identification with the program, or unfortunately your consciousness is going to get left behind. You will live in eternity in the infinite, listening to the labels, identifying with form. You will go off into another planet. You won't come back onto this planet. You go off onto another planet that is identifying with form, that is solely identified with the ego, with the conditioning, with the programming. At night time, when you go to sleep, spiritual awakening is bringing yourself into this place in the daytime dream. You've got to see the night time, the mental activity at night time is the same mental activity that you're having during the day. It's the same dream. Humans call it a dream. It's the same mental noise that is happening during the day, but during the day, the thing that is aware of the consciousness is aware of the dream at night time. During the day, the conditioned mind wakes up. You've got something else there. The identifier's woken up, the program's woken up, the matrix is woken up. You wake up in the matrix. So because you've been shown no other way but to call that a dog, because you've been shown no other way, because your parents know no other way, your grandparents know no other way, but to label, to identify, then you live your whole lifetime believing you're in the matrix and of the matrix. When all the time, you can never be that because it's not there at night. This isn't there when you go to sleep. It doesn't exist. It's not there when you die. If you was to die in this moment, all this would go. All your identification with form would go. Your body would go. What would be there? The consciousness that is experiencing the dream at night. The consciousness that is aware of the mental activity at night time. That is eternal. That doesn't mean you don't experience this planet. You experience it even more. What do you experience? You experience the fucking life force. You don't name that a dog. You don't name that a human named Dad. You don't name that a human named Granddad. You just experience the life force in front of you. This bundle of furry joy that is running towards you. They say even if your mum or your dad or your partner or your sister that you identify with that form, even if they're angry, that's just life force. What are you doing about it? There's fuck all you're going to do about it. If somebody's being hurt or whatever, what are you doing about it? There is nothing you can fucking do. Literally nothing. You're not going to interject, and you might interject and you might get hurt. Well, that's so be it. That is what has got to happen. There is nothing you can do. You might think that because you're this ego, because you believe you're called Dan, because you believe you're called Dan with these big muscles, or you believe that whatever it might be, that it's you that's doing it. Absolutely not. You're doing nothing about nothing. That moment is going to play out exactly as it's supposed to play out, without you doing anything about it. And then what you're left with, you're just left with the moment. You're just left with the life force that is presenting itself in the moment. There is no labels, there's just love, isn't there? If you're not being love, if you're not being joy, if you're not being happiness in any moment, you've been taken over by the program. You've been taken over by somebody else's story. You've been taken over by somebody else's conditioned mind. Because behind the story, behind the label, behind the name, is the thing that you go back to at night time, that is consciousness aware of the mental activity. There is just the two there at night. You wake up in the morning, you've got your conditioned mind. You've got your ego. The program's awake. Does it exist in the nighttime dream? In the nighttime mental activity? It's not there, but are you still there? Are you still experiencing the mental activity? But all this is gone. All your identification with form. Or your identification with the labels. Why? Because you've been shown no other way. Because your parents know no other way. Because your dad knows no other way. Your grandparents are in the matrix and of the matrix. They believe in the conditioning, they believe in the programming. You've had no other alternative. You've been shown no other way but to label. To not come to see that this is all an illusion. It's not there at night. If you was to die in this moment, this wouldn't exist. But the consciousness would be there. We're all the same consciousness. There is no bodies. Ultimately, this is just a blip. This is just your consciousness of walking up in the body. These trees will outlive your human lifetime. Please see this. These trees will outlive it's a blip. Your consciousness has woken up in a body for a tiny amount of time. And then you'll go. And then you'll return back to the dream state. And then you'll return back to the infinite that is there at night time. This is not there at night. Is it here at night? Is the identifier there at night? Is the ego there at night? Is the conditioned mind there at night time? Is the thing that is talking to the fucking mental activity there at night time? It is not there. So therefore it has to be false. Therefore it isn't real. Because it's not there all the time. If something can come and go, then it's subject to time. It's subject to the past and future. Time doesn't exist. There is no past and future, so ultimately it doesn't exist. Humans will say, what do you mean time doesn't exist? It's 20 past fucking 2. Time, as in past and future, does not exist. It's part of the illusion. It's part of your conditioned mind. Why? Because again, you've been shown no other way. You believe 99.9% of the people on this planet will live 100% of their lifetime regurgitating stories from the past. 100% of their lifetime listening to a ghost from the past that presents itself in the moment. Planning the future, were from the past. Living in the moment, were from the past. Reliving the moment, were from the past. 100% of a human lifetime are lived in stories from the past that are false. It doesn't exist. Time doesn't exist. Past and future does not exist. At night time, when you're the consciousness that is aware of the dream, where's your ego? Where's your conditioned mind? Where's all this? Where's the program? It doesn't exist. It's not there, is it? So therefore it has to be false. This has to be false. Because it's not eternal. That doesn't mean you've woken up in a body and you're experiencing the moment, but you get to experience the moment full of love, full of joy, full of happiness. Because you know that this is just a blip. This is just a temporary human experience that you're having. Consciousness has woken up in this body for less time than that tree is on this planet. And you get to make the most of it while your consciousness has woken up in a body. Your soul will either come to see this or it won't. Your soul will either live in your soul, your consciousness will either merge for eternity with the conditioned mind, and that's what's happened for 99.9% of the people on this planet. The consciousness has merged with the conditioning. The consciousness has merged with the program. The consciousness has merged with the labels. The consciousness has merged with the naming. The consciousness has merged with believing that that is a dog. Once you tell a child that that is a dog, they will never see a dog the same again. They will not see the life force that is right in front of it. They won't see the bundle of fur. They will name that a dog, and the trapdoor is shut. The trapdoor to the beingness, to the thing that is aware of the dream, the thing that is aware of the mental activity at night, that all humans go to when they go to sleep. All humans go to the space behind the eyes, the consciousness that is aware of the mental activity, and then they wake up in the morning and they're addicted to form. They believe that that is a human, that is a tree, that is a car, that is a dog, that is red. That's just a story you've been told. How would you know if you've never been told that program? How would you know if you've never been told that code? What would be happening in the moment? There'd just be the moment. There'd be life force presenting itself in the moment without you coming up into your... And don't forget, 83 billion people on this planet, and every single one of them is running their own program. Every single one of them is running their own simulation because of their own conditioning, because of their own programming. Check that out. And it is false, because it's not there at night when you go to sleep. Beautiful. Open the senses. Don't come up into a story. Don't come up into your program. Don't come up into your conditioned mind. Don't come up into the labels that you've been shown no other way but to identify with, because they're false. They are not there at night when you go to sleep. All this dissolves away when you go to sleep at night time. It's not there. It's not eternal. This body is not eternal. The thing that is conscious, of the mental activity at night time, that's the eternal. That is where you'll go back to. If you was to drop dead in this moment, you go back into the dream state. What a beautiful place to be. If you come to see that in this lifetime, woof. If you come to see that all this is a dream, that mental activity is a dream, it's just your identification with labels. Because your mum has told you, because your dad has told you, because your neighbours have told you. How would you know that that's a fucking dog if you've never been told? How would you know that that is a human named, I don't fucking know, Jessica, if you've never been told? You'd just see the life force in front of you, wouldn't you? Even if that life force is annoyed, angry, it's just life force. Without you labelling it. You don't label it at night time when you're asleep. You won't label it in the infinite. But you label it here because you're conditioned and programmed to. Why? Because your consciousness has merged with the matrix. Your consciousness has merged with the program. Unfortunately, it's the fucking truth. It's the truth. You come to see this yourself. Don't believe what I'm telling you. I'm saying it's my truth. Don't believe that what I'm telling you is your truth. You've got to experience this yourself. Don't believe anything I'm saying. But if you see this yourself, if you experience this yourself, if you come to see that if you come to see that the mental activity at night time, you're the one who's aware of that. The consciousness is aware of that mental activity. The ego isn't there. The conditioned mind isn't there at night time. The program isn't there at night time. When you wake up in the morning, then that's activated. How you doing, guys? You all right? That's that's activated in the morning. People get it all fucking mistaken. Why? Because they're identifying with form. They believe it's who they are. They hook, line and sinker believe that they're a name, fucking Barbara. They hook, line and sinker believe that they're a name named John. They hook, line and sinker believe that that's a car. The hook, line and sinker addicted to form. Does it exist? It's not there at night when you go to sleep, is it? Is it there in the morning when you wake up? Yeah, because the conditioned mind's there. Is it there when you're dead? You go back to the dream state when you're dead. If you was to die in this moment, you just go dreaming. The consciousness would be aware of the mental activity. If you're addicted to form in this life and you was to die in this moment, you will live in that space for eternity. You'll be believing all that shit for eternity. Eternity. The infinite. Fucking hell, people. It's fucking stark, it is, and it's a rude fucking awakening, but that's what awakening does. It jolts you. It's got to jolt you out of this body. You've got to die to the ego. Jesus said you've got to die to your ego. You've got to die to all this fucking form. You've got to die to the fucking stories people have told you. You've got to die to the identification with the mind. You've got to die to it all. You've got to just see the life force that is right in front of you. The life force that is popping and kicking in the moment. The more love you are, the more unconditional love you are, the more that jolts. The more it jolts people. You see it, the glitch. They're fucking unaware that they're not that, they can't be that. They think they're that because they're conditioned and programmed to believe that that's them with an name. They're conditioned and programmed to believe that that's them with the story. They're conditioned and programmed to believe the shit they believe in. It's fucking madness. Conditioned and programmed to believe the insanity of the mind, and they all live from the same fucking place. Collective ego, thinking they've got it all fucking figured out. They've got absolutely fucking jack all figured out. I'm telling you, nothing. They've been programmed and conditioned to believe other people's stories. They've been programmed and conditioned to believe other people's conditioned minds, thinking that that's who they are. Why? Because how the fuck is that who you are? What? Because they've been told that that's your name. Name fucking, it's a disaster. That's your name, named Bob. That's your name, named whatever it fucking might be. They will never come to see that it's not the name. That it's not the identification with form, that it is the life force that is right in front of them. But instantly they're taken over by the matrix. Yes, instantly they're taken over by the program. Instantly, boom, lights out, and they'll live the whole lifetime in that place, the whole lifetime identifying with form, identifying with labels until they die, and they're like, fucking hell, what was that? What happened there? They'll say, oh fucking hell, well that was a load of bollocks. Well, that was a dream. Well, that wasn't real. Fucking hell, the place that I went to when I was asleep at night time, that was real. That was the infinite. All this was just, fucking hell, all this was just a game. All this was just a play. Oh, that couldn't have been real, could it? Couldn't have been real because it wasn't there at night time when I was going to sleep. But what was there at night? Oh, I heard somebody say once, the consciousness was there at night. The awareness was there at night. The witnesser was there at night, wasn't it? That was aware of all this. Fuck. I've been led down a fucking path of lies. I've been led down a path of somebody else's conditioning. I've been led down a path of somebody else's programming. I believed all the shit they were telling me. This will happen at death. You'll be in that space of dream state, but the thoughts will come, and you'll be aware of the mental noise, and you'll be aware that the consciousness that is aware of the mental activity is exactly the same place that you go to at night time when you're dreaming. You'll come into that space when you die, and you'll see that all this, well, it couldn't have been real, could it? Because it's not there. It's not there. It's not there for the eternal. It's not there in the infinite. It's not there when you're asleep at night. So it has to be false if it's not there all the time. Anything that comes and goes has to be false. So then you come into the place of shit. Oh shit. You start panicking. Thoughts will start running 100 miles an hour. Fucking hell. And then what'll happen? Then the simulation will boot up again. And then your mum will come and you'll be like, oh fucking hell, mum. Fuck me. You'll be having a conversation with your mum through thought. Because there is only ever thought, there can only ever be thought, there will only ever be thought. So you go off in your conversation in the mind with mum. Because mum will come. She'll come into the simulation after death. And you'll start having oh, thank fuck my mum's here. Oh, my dad. Oh, thank fuck my dad's here. Oh, my child's here. Thank fuck my child's here. Oh, this is beautiful. Oh, thank fuck I'm home. I'm home. Oh, fuck it, Jesus is here. Wow, this is getting even better. Simulation's booting you up. You feel fantastic. All through thought, your body's gone. You're the consciousness that is aware of what is happening. You're the consciousness that is aware of this dream. This is just a dream. This is the thing that is happening at night time. You wouldn't know if you were dead. All this would just disappear. There is no you and mum. There is no you and dad. It doesn't exist. Just like it doesn't exist here. That is just your identification with form. That is your identification with a label. Why? Because you've been in the matrix and of the matrix. Why? Because you've been shown no other way. So at death, when you come out of that space at death, if you're not aware of that, if you don't come to this in this lifetime to come to see that all this is false, to come to see that all this is just because you've identified with somebody else's story, because you've identified with somebody else's programming. You've identified with labels. If you see this in this lifetime and mum comes to you, don't believe it, because you don't believe it here. If dad comes to you, if your child comes to you, you don't believe it, because you don't believe it here. You've come to see. You've died to the ego here. So you don't see it at death. And even if the simulation boots up again, and all these things start coming to you, you just sat in the place of, oh, I'm aware of this. I'm consciousness experiencing this, because you've been consciousness experiencing it on the planet. That's why it's important to wake up now on the planet. If you wake up on the planet, then the simulation doesn't get you after death. You don't go on the wheel of samsara. You stay here. You stay in the place of the eternal. You stay in the place of consciousness. You stay in the thing that is aware of all that. So mum comes to you at death, just appears, fades away, just like it does during the day. Just like that mental activity comes during the day, it just dissolves away. Your dad will come to you, your child will come to you, there's nothing there. It just dissolves away. You're just left in consciousness. You're just left as a thing that is aware. You go back into the infinite, and then you choose from that place. You get the free will to choose in this lifetime. You don't choose to come up, you choose not to identify with it. But what happens is, because people have identified with form so much, because people have identified with the matrix, they've lived in the matrix and of the matrix, that when they die, they're still in the matrix and of the matrix. 100%. They will not see after death. For 99.9% of the souls on this planet, for the consciousnesses on this planet, they're addicted to form. They're addicted to the labels because they don't know any other way. So at death, there isn't the thing that is consciousness. There isn't, because that consciousness has merged with the matrix. That consciousness has merged with the labels. So unfortunately, it's not come to see it in this lifetime. So then that consciousness that is for the people that have come to see it and the people that are aware of it at death, that consciousness splits from the body and it goes back into the eternal, it goes back into the dream state, it goes back into the infinite, because it's come to experience it on the planet. But the people that do not see that are addicted to form, addicted to the labels, it's a whole new story. It's a whole different story. And it'll be a whole different story in another body. But not with your car, not with your house, not with anything. Because it's not the body that reincarnates, it's the consciousness behind the eyes that reincarnates. The thing that is aware of the mental activity at night time is the thing that reincarnates. And we're all the same consciousness. Why? Because we all go back into the dream state at night time. We all go back into the consciousness that is aware of the mental activity at night time. So then there is no difference in the place of consciousness. In the place of the thing that is aware of the mental activity at night time, there is no difference, is there? Everyone goes into that state. Just as the same as everyone will go into that state at death. If you was to die in this moment, you just go back into the dream. You go back into the infinite. But if you've come to see that there's no identification with labels, with the story, with the matrix in this lifetime, then when mummy comes to you, there is no mummy. When daddy comes to you, there is no daddy. When your child comes to you, there is no child. When your God comes to you, there is no God. When Jesus comes to you, there is no Jesus. It doesn't exist. That only exists because of a label that you've identified with in this lifetime. They don't exist. So if you come to see that in this lifetime, if you come to see that there's no identification with the label, there's no identification with the matrix, there's no identification with the conditioned mind, bang, you go back into the infinite. But if you're in the matrix and of the matrix, when the simulation reboots, you're still in the matrix and of the matrix. So mummy will come, daddy will come, child will come, brother will come, and off you go. Off you fucking go. With mum, with dad, with child, with sister. Whoever it might be. Whoever you think has passed away. That fucking body hasn't passed. That body's died. But you'll see a hologram of the body. How fucking mad is that? You see a hologram of the body. You see a hologram. Come on, please tell me that you see that isn't real. You see a hologram of Jesus. Why? Because you've been told it on this planet. You've been told that that is mum, that is dad, that is, because it's just another part of the simulation. Whoever's running this planet is super fucking clever. I'm telling you now. They are fucking streams ahead of where we're at as entities. Fucking streams ahead. They're playing you like fucking puppets. They're playing you like, they're absolutely fucking done you over. They've done you over. Because they've got you to believe in form. It's not your fault. They've got your parents and your grandparents and whoever they fucking are. They've got them to believe in form. They've got them to, but whoever settled this planet, settled the planet and then got everyone to identify with form. Got everyone to identify with the labels. With the name for a dog, with the name for a human, with the name for a human with a story. And as soon as you've identified with that, it is game over. It is very rare that you'll come to see this in your lifetime. Hopefully you do. And like I say, there is more entities on the planet that are waking up to this. There are more entities on the planet that are coming to see that all them labels have to be false. They have to be dissolved away. They have to go into nothingness. So then at death, there is no, you're not in the matrix and of the matrix. There is just the moment, isn't there? There is just the thing experiencing the conscious. I'm gonna crack on. I'm getting a bit of fucking burns here. You're just the consciousness experiencing that. Then when mummy comes, there is no mummy, there is no daddy. But if you don't see that in this lifetime, fucking hell, you'll be off. You'll be at them fucking, and you will know that it has all been a dream. You will know that when you go into the dream state at night time, that has been the infinite. That this is just a play. That this can't be real because it isn't the eternal. It's real as it appears, but it's only real to the point of it, life force is happening. It's not real as in that you giving the names to shit. That isn't real. Take away the names, take away the labels, take away the matrix, and then you've just got the life force happening, haven't you? That's the part that is truly real. When you wake up during the day. But the infinite, the eternal real is the thing that is aware of it all. Is the consciousness that is aware of the mental activity. Is a consciousness that is aware of this is a dream. This is still part of the dream. This still has to be false. What has to be false? The identification with labels, the identification with the matrix. It has to be false. So then when you wake up, then the consciousness is then walking up in the body just to experience the life force. That when the time is right and this consciousness, this body dies, then the consciousness has experienced the life force. There's nothing else to experience. It goes back into the infinite, it goes back into the dream, it goes back into the bliss. Boom, there for eternity. It's mad to think that the people that died that has left this planet are just in an infinite state of dreaming. They're in an infinite state of, they still think they're if they're not reincarnated onto another body, they'll just still think they're asleep. But they won't know. Do you know you're asleep when you're asleep at night time? No, you just go back into the consciousness. You just back into that space. Do you see? That's the eternal. And then what will happen, you'll see that, oh fucking hell, that was a load of shit, wasn't it? That was all false. My identifier that was having a conversation with the thought was false. Because it's not there at night. It's just all this conditioning in this program and identification with form. I got it all wrong. I wasn't seeing the life force that was right in front of me. I was seeing the labels. I was seeing other people's labels. I was seeing other people's conditioning, other people's programming. And then what will happen is you'll go off into another body. If you're identifying with form. If you're identifying with mum will come, dad will come. Oh, this is fucking brilliant. You'll shit it. You will see for a brief period of time that it has been false. But you'll panic. The thoughts of fucking hell, what's this? This is fucking mad. What the fuck is going on here? This can't be real. What? It was a load of shit. My mum wasn't real, my dad wasn't real, it was a load of bollocks. Panic, panic, panic. Your mum will come, oh, fucking hell, I knew you were real. I knew you were real. You're still consciousness, experiencing the mental activity. But you're dead. Oh yeah, I knew it was real. Fucking hell, my mum's here, my dad's here. Jesus is here. God's here. Off you, come on, let's go. Another part of the simulation, part of the trap. This is the biggest trap of all. Off you go on the wheel of samsara. You go through them pearly gates. To what? Gets back out into another body. Mummy leaves you. Daddy leaves you. You're on your own again. Consciousness is back on its own again. We're in another body. Consciousness then is born into another body. Behind the eyes, the infinite, the consciousness, the awareness that is aware of it all gets dropped back into another body to be conditioned, to be programmed with no name. But then it's born into a family that are in the matrix and of the matrix. So then it gets labelled, it gets conditioned, it gets programmed into believing that it's part of the matrix and of the matrix. So it believes that that is a dog, it believes that that is a human with a story, it believes that that is a human with a name, it believes that that is grass, it believes that that is a tractor, it believes that that is a car. Why? Because your parents believe it, your grandparents believe it, so it's conditioned and programmed into the matrix. Been conditioned and programmed into the falseness of the planet. And then when it wakes up every morning, it's the conditioned mind has woken up. The conditioned mind is the identifier with labels. When that consciousness wakes up in a baby, there is no conditioning, there is no programming there, so it's just seeing life force. Goes back to sleep, wakes up, it's just seeing life force. Goes back to sleep, wakes up, it's just seeing life force. Goes to sleep, it's still the consciousness that is aware of the mental activity. So the consciousness is still the mental activity going on. So consciousness that is aware of the mental activity. And then it wakes up in a body, the consciousness wakes up in a body, and then it's programmed by other entities, programmed by other humans to believe in the labels, to believe in the conditioning, to believe in the programming. I'm gonna have shit here because I didn't realise my battery was going. To believe in the matrix and of the matrix. So it lives its whole lifetime in that place. It goes to sleep and then it wakes up in another body to do it all again. But if you're lucky enough to see it, you see that nighttime dream is the same as the daytime dream. That it's just that there's something else walking up, the conditioned mind walking up, but that has to be false because it's not there at nighttime and it's not there when you die. This isn't there when you die. It doesn't exist. All this form, all these labels do not exist in the nighttime dream and in death. So ultimately it doesn't exist in the daytime dream. Hope everyone has a fantastic day. Namaste.